Good morning. In this video, I'll try to explain the difference between content and context because apparently it's very clear that there is 180 degrees between the content of the obsession, of the images, the feelings, the thoughts of OCD, and the real meaning of them. Especially if you are dealing with the CBT, because in fact the course of therapy depends on which uh, therapy you are using. Is it classical CBT or it is ACT? Because if you can't change something, then it is CBT. If you challenge to change, you change the thoughts, you change the frequency of the thought, the thought itself, or sometimes the meaning of the thought, also considered as CBT intervention, then you are in classical CBT. But if you cannot change them and it is a chronic, or they are, or sometimes in some OCD clients, they are changing the form of the obsessions, are changing, is changing 100,000 times per day in different form. He's carrying his obsession with him the whole day, and it's changing also the whole day with different images, pictures, and so then you accept, then you go to this direction, to ICT direction. I have talked already about three spaces, the content and the border and the outside of the obsession. So the content of the obsession, the border of the obsession, and the outside of the obsession. And in fact, the therapies are classified how you are dealing with these spaces. If you are dealing with the content, it is different therapy than when you are dealing with the border. Dealing with the border only, it is different than dealing with the content or with the outside of the obsession. So that means changing your relationship with the obsession. This is outside the obsession. This is not in the obsession or on the border of the obsession. So changing your relationship with the obsession, this is ACT, acceptance commitment therapy intervention. Okay. So now I come back to the to this concept, or explaining the difference between content and meaning, content and context. Let us take this example. Imagine that you have seen a film. You are brought to a film where you see your brother is conspiring with someone against you. They are conspiring to cut your leg. Of course, you will be very angry. You will remember your times with your dearest brother. You will be very angry. You will generate hundred thousands of thoughts against him, and why is that, and a lot of questions and pain and feelings, different feelings, different. This is one part. The second part is that if you are told, or if you continue the whole film, then you will see that in fact 1 month ago you was diagnosed with leg cancer. They have discovered cancer in your leg, and if they don't cut it, you will be dead. So your brother, your dearest brother, knows that you are very sensitive, and it is very heavy for you to know that you have a cancer and they should cut your leg and like that. So he is trying to make some sort of a plan with your doctor to bring you to the operation room with less damage, and with less anxiety, and with less pain. Now you know the whole truth. You know the whole picture. You have seen the whole story, the whole picture, the whole truth. Now it is different. You get different feelings. You will feel a lot of love towards your brother, a lot of love towards his kind treatment to you, because he was conspiring or making plan with the doctor to help you. So if you look to the content of the obsession, the content of the obsession is that there are thoughts or images about harming your child, for example. If you look only to the content and you are, like in ACT they say, you are fused with the content, then you get the problem. Then you will see only these feelings, these thoughts as harming thoughts, harming feeling. I have the thoughts, I have the feeling to harm my child. But if you discuss with yourself, if you remember, if you check, then you will see that that you have never done something wrong to your child. That in fact you are a very good father or mother. Okay. Of course, do not check after the obsession directly, because if you keep doing that, maybe you can do it 1 time, 3 times, or you do it after the attack, like you are contemplating about that or like that. It is good, but after the obsession, then it can become a ritual. Okay, so now for contemplations, for thinking, then this means that content is at 180 degree with the context, with the meaning. This is why, in fact, one of the most important differences between normal negative thoughts and OCD obsessions is that OCD obsessions comes always 180 degree, always against your values, always against your highest values and real goals, your real self, always. While negative thoughts, no, doesn't have to be at 180 degree with your goals or values. It can 130 degree, 100 degree. Okay, but this is in this way, OCD also can. In the coming videos, I will try to give some videos about how to recognize or determine or learn about your values, your real values and your real self. So OCD can also give us a hint of about what is our values. Pain is the other side of the coin. Pain can lead you to your value. What is the most painful thing to you? Okay, so and the other side, it is one of these values. So if you look to the content, they are about harming a child, but the meaning says, the reality says, you are a very kind person to your child or to other children. So it is very important to know the difference between content and the meaning. Now you can have an idea or a question. I ask you, what is your focus? What is your attention? Is it in the mud or in the sky? Is it in the content? Is your focus on the content or on the context or on the meaning? The more you are fused with the content, the more you are going the wrong direction. This is why it is very important to contemplate, to think about these meanings, as I have said, not directly before the after the obsession. Otherwise, it will become a ritual or a compulsion. But after that, after the attack, you sit, you think. It is also good for you, without with the freedom and with acceptance. So OCD is a theme sensitive, a value sensitive. That means it is impossible if you have no value for cleanliness, that you get OCD about dirty things. If you have no value for sexuality, which this is not a real value for you, that you are a straight person, or then you will never get a homo OCD obsessions. If you have never thought about having children in this life because you don't care, you care only about your careers, and it is very unlikely to have a harm OCD or pedophile sort obsessions. If you don't care about something, you will never get OCD obsessions about it. So OCD is a theme, really a theme connected, value connected. It is always against your theme, against your values, let us say, against your values, against your real goals. Always OCD. While negative thoughts doesn't have to. Sometimes yes, sometimes not. Sometimes at 100 degree. It doesn't have to be precisely on the wrong direction, precisely against. This is why OCD clients will never do it's what he is fearing. What so if he has an OCD, harm OCD about his children, he will never commit harm against his children. If he has homo obsessions, he will never. So he's a straight, he have a homo obsession. That means it is for sure. Many people can change their sexuality direction, but this guy who have OCD, homo OCD, he will never, definitely will never change and become homo, because the most thing that he is afraid of is to be homo. This is why, in fact, you see that if a guy is a homo, then his OCD is about being straight, because this is the more thing that he is fearful of. He feared to be a straight. So this is OCD is very sensitive. So you can learn a lot about your values and about yourself from OCD, because he is against that. So that means that I am in that direction, against these obsessions. I'm not these obsessions, totally not. So totally 180 degrees not. But with other person that don't have harm OCD, no, he can harm his children. He can harm the children, other children. But OCD, people with pedophile thoughts or obsessions, OCD, pedophile OCD or harm OCD, he will not do that for sure. Okay, so this is one of the something which is really funny about OCD, and of course it is not very funny, but I mean it is. You can see how it is very value sensitive, how it is always against your value. So as a background, not after the obsession, as a background contemplation about that, if you meditate about these thoughts, you consider them very mindfully, without any judgment really. You consider them as a pure memory, as a pure thought. So mindfulness, you are doing mindfulness over these thoughts. You consider how it is 180 degrees from your values, this OCD obsession. Then it can go to insight through this contact without judgment. If you look to these experience and these thoughts, oh, it is really so. After the therapy, when there is no attack, you say to yourself, oh, really? Then I am this good father. I am really a good father. See, see, I am a good father because I'm doing all this sacrifice, all this energy and time for my children, for my God, if you have a religious OCD. If you have a religious OCD about disbelieving and you are disbeliever or against God, your head guy, this is for sure. Even so let us say that normally all people, and you know about yourself that you are disbeliever. Suddenly you get religious OCD. This is, for me, according to my experience, this is for sure uh, a proof that you are a believer in God, but you don't know. Maybe you don't know. So if you get an obsession with a compulsion about religious OCD, then this is for sure, even if you don't know, this is for sure that you are a religious guy, that you believe in God. So you can see, you can know, now you can know a lot about OCD. What is OCD? OCD not only sometimes have no meaning, but no, sometimes, especially if you are following the border. So I have said content, border, and outside the obsession. Especially in this, if you dealing, so not on the content, but border and outside, you are dealing with the meaning of these thoughts and obsessions. Now you know that, oh, it's completely 180 degree. Okay? So OCD, it is learning the skills of the therapy to overcome OCD is really learning skills to benefit in your whole life. You will benefit from these skills not only to overcome OCD, but also to overcome a lot of difficulties in this life. Okay, so go and see the whole picture. Try to meditate, contemplate about that. Of course, not after the obsession, otherwise it can transform to a compulsion or a ritual. Okay, and see you in the next video.